welcome back to Dubbzi Bricks for another Gotham City update. And following on from last week, I have decided that I am going to remove the switch tracks here. So we're going to remove the bypass that goes behind the Wayne terminus. By removing the switch track here and here, as mentioned last week, we can shift the platform up by probably about 16 studs and bring the loop round that much earlier. Now, if we work our way back down here, we have got some switch tracks in here. One comes this way and then one goes over to the back, which is obviously all connected together. I don't want to disrupt those two if I can help it, as obviously all the pillars are built around it. The mills plate's been lowered for it. And there is no necessity to actually remove them. I can just have them set up so that the train just continually does a loop. So we'll leave that as it is. But we will be removing the switch track, which is just under here. So it will just be two parallel lines going along that way. So first things first, let's remove these buildings that are just resting on the top, pull the train track up, and then we can work out where we're going to put the subway station. And I've just started changing over the railway tracks underneath this section just here and connecting it all together. And I realised I've used so many pieces on the mills plate here to get it down lower for the switch track, which isn't necessary now. So I am going to take this back over to my table and redo the mills plate underneath there, save all those pieces as they will come in useful in the future. It won't take long at all to build this back up because I can just take the framework off and then put it back down afterwards. But one other thing I am considering doing is shrinking the size of this subway station here. Now at the moment it was built to be quite large for the Wayne terminus. Here is one train carriage here, and I'm thinking I only really need to come to about that brick there. So there's enough room for two carriages at the platform because that's all I'm going to have going around on here, and that'd be quite a nice size for the train station as well. So I'm going to just amend that wall as well, bring that over whilst I'm making these changes. So let's take this over to the table and get that all sorted. And that's that area all amended where the new subway station is going to be. And I think it's been shrunk by around about it's either 10 or 12 studs. I still need to build the brick wall up along here. And the reason I haven't done so yet is what I'm intending on doing is actually having an entrance to the subway on the raised platform area just there. So I'm just going to leave that for the time being. And I might also have one around this side. I just want to make sure I've got my visuals on it correctly before I go and build it and then have to destroy it in the typical Dubbzi brick style. Now in this section just here, we did have 3x2 of the 32x32 base plates. They're just there and here. But what I'm actually going to do is put two 48x48s in here. That way I can just slide the other base plates there with the subway station on up to it, and then that saves me actually having to move this actual build itself, so it will be a lot less work involved. And then what I'll do is I'll just put all of those base plates down the far end, so it'll be a lot easier to do it that way. And that's the next section, all modified. The outer wall all built up, just need to put a couple of layers of plate on that. Need a little bit more filler plate just to level this all off so it's ready for one big mills plate. But this section down here, I've now slid it along and I can now start rectifying the pillars just here. They're also way too close together. I'll start spreading them out more further down there, so I'm going to save a load of filler brick on that. But just need to do the loop all the way around there, and then that will be the end of the raised platform. So I'm thinking it's going to come to around about here. So we've now saved this entire area for doing the bridge. Is going to link the two raised platform areas together, the shops, and also the turtle garage as well. So yeah, really pleased I've made the decision to shrink the raised platform and amend the train line there. I think it is going to look a lot better once it's all done. But let's take this next section over to the table, get as much of that done as I can. I'm getting very low on the light bluish grey brick there, so I don't think I'm going to have enough to go around the edge just there, but at least we can get the support struts all sorted. And whilst carrying this subway station over to the table here, I discovered it's actually on two separate mills plates. Luckily the station was doing enough to keep them together, but what I will do is when I remove the pillars at the back to realign them, I'll join the two mills plates together, and again I'll do the same on the front section just here. So let's lower the track into there first of all, and then we'll make a start on the pillars at the back. And there's been a fair few amendments to this mills plate. The two have been joined together. We've now got the lowered section for the curved track to drop down into the mills plate, the same as the rest of it. But the platform was about 2 or 3 bricks too high, so I've had to lower that all down, and also made a start on those pillars at the back just there. So what I'm going to do now is continue with the pillars around this section, and then I'm going to build a wall up around on the end here with an arch that will lead through to that section, and the same again down this end. I did have one in here at one stage, but it's got destroyed. I don't know why, but yeah, we'll build that up on that end as well. And then what I can concentrate on doing is building up the rest of this in here until it actually gets up to the correct height of the raised platform. And there's the arches all in place, and we've made a start on the wall along the edge just here as well. What I'm going to concentrate on next is just plating off this area in here, and then put another support beam or support beams on that section, and then connect it to this part here. That way, if I do ever push down on the front of the build there, I know it's got plenty of strength behind it. What I also need to do now is find out a load of white bricks, just so I can carry on building the platform area up just there. I'm going to put some Technique bricks in at the top of the pillars there, and I'm just going to run a pipe through there just to add a little bit more detail to that section. Now, with the brick walls behind it, I'm probably going to go over to the sand green colour just to mix it up a little bit, but I will keep it on the white on the front section just there. And that's the roof all built onto the subway. It's going to need a lot of reinforcement at the moment, and just need to build the wall up there, which will connect to the roof. Now, at the moment, there aren't any lights in this mock, and I don't really plan on putting any on, as I just feel like I much sooner spend the money on Lego than lights, but that may change further down the line. But anyway, let's carry on building that wall up at the back, and then once I've done that, I can then start reinforcing this entire roof section just here. And that's both sets of steps all built up, ready for tiling. One thing I have realised I haven't done is put a snot brick in the wall on just here and on the other side. I just want to have a hand railing going up the side of the stairs there. So just need to do that little detail next. Once I've done that, what I'm going to do is reinforce this roof, as I mentioned I needed to do earlier. And then I can plate off this entire section, which enables me to do the finer details around the entrance and exit to the subway there. And that's the top of the subway station, all plated off and ready for the tiling, the road, whatever's going to go along here, and the details around the entrance and exit of the subway station. What I need to do now is find out a load more bricks so I can carry on doing support beams across here. I need a load of longer bricks, whether they're 8 long, 10 long, something like that. And at the moment, I'm very, very low on them, so I'm going to need to do a bit more sorting. Anyway, let's move this back over to the table and see how it looks with the rest of the city. And this is so satisfying, seeing so much more of the filler brick and filler plate up to the right level and ready for the mills plating to go on top of it. Now, and as I mentioned a couple of moments ago, I do need to get a load more of the larger bricks so I can do support beams going across, which we need to do here as well as on the rest of the train station there. Down this section here, what I need to do is just start the next mills plate that's going to go along and finish off the railway line. There's about 6 studs, I think it is. I know 5 studs is actually overhanging onto the next mills plate. So we'll have a wall going across here which will then have the buildings going up to the back of it. But what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to take this Mills plate over to the table and carry on with the track going round, just so I can get it back to the where it started before. And I'm hoping that I haven't got to do too much alteration in that section just there. The curve is going to be coming around that little bit earlier, which I didn't realise, and it may cause a problem on that section. But if it does, we just amend it. And that's the support pillars pretty much done. What I need to do now is just start building the grey brick wall along the edges just there. Once I've done that, I can have the support pillars coming up and then join the two sections together. Now I'm getting very low on certain pieces that I need to complete this part. So I'm just going to build that grey wall, see how far we can get. And yeah, we'll check back in once we've done so. And I managed to find just enough bricks to get all the way around with the surrounding wall. So the only section I've got left to go is this small section here, and then that's the entire raised platform with its outer skin on there. And then all we need to do is just build the Mills plates that rest on the top of it. I have still got to do the support beams inside here, but I need to find out several parts so I can do the reinforced beams as I've done there to go over the actual track itself. But once I've done that, that's not a very time-consuming job. It's quite quick to get that all done. But yeah, really pleased with how this is coming along, especially with the subway. Get a nice bit of light come through from the two little holes at the top, which is good. Whether or not I add lights in, as I mentioned, I'm not sure. It's not something that's high on the priority list at the moment. Now, this coming week, I'm hoping to get up to the Dublin Lego store. It'd be nice to see if I can get some white bricks. I want to see what different options they have available. They have had a really good variety up there, from headlight bricks, profile bricks, masonry bricks. And the reason I want white bricks is to start the hospital. So I'm going to try and get as much of that built using pick-a-brick bricks as possible, because that's a good way of getting a nice structure built at a lower cost, but obviously it does still need to look good. So we'll see what we can get and then order in the relevant bricks that we need to finish that build off. Anyway, here is the before picture from this episode, and this is the after. So yeah, quite a few changes on the actual structural side there. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else you think would be interested in building Gotham City in Lego, if you could share the channel with them, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for popping on by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.